I can't believe I'm saying this, but a manga author recently came out giving her final goodbyes to her fans before deleting her X account after a constant string of harassment and hateful comments she faced over her manga series Go For It Nakamura. It's a Boy Life series that recently received an anime adaptation that was released over on Crunchyroll on April 1st. I'm gonna preface this now before I go too deep into this video, but this is completely ridiculous, the reasons why this all went down. The people involved that harassed the author are pathetic individuals who, after finding out about her departure, took joy in the fact that she was gone and potentially ending her manga career in the process. Absolute pieces of trash. And for what? What are their reasons for doing this, you may ask? Well, let's start back at the beginning of the controversy to help you understand how this all went down. So, as I stated before, back in April 1st, part of the spring season lineup of anime, Go For It Nakamura made its first and second episode debut to a wide roaring audience. Both fans of the manga and new viewers who heard about the anime adaptation had nothing but glowing reviews for the series and its creator, who goes by the name Sayudai. Many articles and posts online spoke highly of the anime's retro 80s art style, reminiscent of the time period. They loved Nakamura's hilariously cringy personality and dialogue, which made many feel a bit of relatability to him. Fast forward to the 12th of April, where the creator of the series released a sudden post over on her X account, explaining that she had been receiving complaints about her work, stating that she wasn't even sure if it was worth continuing being a manga author anymore. She talks about how people were telling her she should just leave. And with that, she said her goodbyes and deleted her account entirely.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Now, her post was translated, not sure if through AI or by an actual person, so it's hard to know if her words are one for one. For instance, if she truly decided on leaving and quitting manga altogether, then I believe there would have been some sort of official announcement or post mentioning that decision. It could also be that she's debating with this internally. She's trying to figure out whether or not she truly wants to do it or not. She's also potentially speaking to other people about this, probably like someone like her publisher. But regardless, if she does or doesn't leave, the issue still stands that she was deeply hurt by those comments that she was receiving, and many of which were accusing her of being a fucking pedophile.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Saying she was creating artwork that was sexualizing minors and romanticizing a relationship between a student and teacher. Wow, those are some very heavy accusations you're tossing out there, buddy. Ones that I'd add should never be thrown around so lightly. But this is social media, a space that is filled to the brim with the most self-entitled, self-righteous slackjaws of retards this side of the fucking Mississippi. And with how often these types toss around accusations like they're giving away candy, it's usually easy to ignore them. However, with the fact that the anime just aired to a bunch of new viewers who were not aware of the manga prior to the adaptation's announcement, caused more attention to be given towards the controversy. And to add to that, we also had the fact that the author had a similar situation that happened to them a little over a month ago from the Brazilian manga viewers, thus culminating into a storm that most people would not be prepared for, let alone her. I don't know if there were any other controversies beforehand, but this one seems to be the one everyone agrees upon to be the start of the change, the first domino to drop, if you will. That happened about a month ago, which is when a user asked the author through the comment section as to why she felt it was okay to depict a romantic relationship between a minor student and their adult teacher. This comment, I'm assuming, is talking about the chapter 8 of the manga where the teacher is chatting with a male student while waiting for the nurse to arrive to take care of Nakamura after he was not feeling so well that day. In this scene, the student expresses his annoyance towards the teacher in a very childish and bratty way, prompting the teacher to say that he believes the student would be very cute if he was a girl because of the way he was acting at the time. After the initial claim was made, fans of the series started to argue online about the scene and its meaning, causing the author to come out herself and deny any implied romantic or sexual feelings in that scene. That was not her intention, and she apologized that that's how people mistook it. That seemed to have calmed things down for the moment. However, we move on back to April and the second episode of Nakamura's debut. In this episode, that's where the controversy flames were reignited. You see, in the episode, Nakamura's imagined a not-so-subtle scenario that involved the boy he's been pining over and an octopus slithering its tentacles and wrapping them around the guy's body.
Oh my.
What's funny is I'm making this scene seem a lot worse than what it really is. Fuck Food Wars shows way more than this did. And also, I'd like to point out that the image isn't even real. What's happening is all happening inside of Nakamura's head, his imagination. None of it's really taking place. But that didn't matter. The scene was apparently so awful that a few months back, before the anime was even released, the author received a few angry comments of people online, so she opted to just ask the studio to not animate that at all, just cutting the scene out entirely. Essentially, she basically self-censored herself to kind of please the people who were mad.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Now, from what I've heard and seen online, the only reason why this whole thing was brought up to begin with was because the manga readers noticed the absence of the scene from the anime, and asked about the reasons why it was not included, which prompted new viewers, mostly from the West side of things, to ask, what are you guys talking about? And as soon as they found out, either through the manga readers explaining it to them or via their own research, many took to social media, of course, to complain about the situation. Not for its removal, oh no, dear viewer of mine, it's because of its existence.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
From that point onward, more and more people would go to the author's social media pages and flood her comments accusing her of being either a pedophile, or someone who was depicting pedophilic scenarios with her underage characters, by using the scenes we just went over as examples. Thus bringing us back to the beginning of this entire video, where eventually she would delete all her accounts of everything. After her goodbye message, there were places like Reddit, X, Instagram, and Facebook that had plenty of commenters saying how happy they were and enthused the fact that they were actually able to delete all her social platforms, potentially ending her career as an author and artist.
The world is burning.
However, many of those in Japan who saw this happening were outraged by the turn of events. Fans of her work, other manga authors, and even a few politicians took their own social media accounts to show their support for the author, and a growing annoyance of those here in the West who felt as though their opinion should take priority over the wishes and opinions of that of the author themselves. And it's not just this one incident either. Oh no, Japan has slowly become aware of these freaks who have invaded the anime communities. Individuals who cry out every time an author doesn't ship two characters together that they created in their own fucking headcanon. Or getting upset and flaming someone because the character's birthday just so happened to be on the same day as Hitler's. Yes, that is a real fucking thing that happened to the creator of My Hero Academia. Japan has had it with this side of the Western fanbase. Hell, a week or so before this controversy started happening with Sayudai, the author of Gachikuta, Kini Uehara, faced similar problems with her Western fanbase, asking her questions about her character's sexuality, if a character was born trans, if she was non-binary. She was becoming annoyed with all these irrelevant questions and speculation about her work, to the point of making a response on her X account with the frustration she was having with the fanbase. And I think it's obvious to say, but I'll still say it anyways, they didn't take it too well.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always!
Now, here's about where I had the video's previous ending placed. However, while I was working on it, the publisher for Go For It Nakamura came out with an official statement, with Sayudai herself giving response to the scene of episode 5 where the teacher and student exchange content information. It reads the following. I received a message from Mr. Hoyer. The following is the content of the message. In episode 5 of the TV anime Gunboy Nakamura-kun, there is a scene where the teacher and student exchange personal content information. However, this is purely intended for suggestive expression within the context of BL and carries no deeper meaning. The author and the anime productions team do not endorse or encourage teachers and students exchanging personal contact information in real life. It was the author who requested things such as, please depict the relationship between Otake and Horasho without getting too close. Always keep in mind that they are a teacher and student dynamic. Avoid depictors that sexually exploit female students and female characters. And for any vulgar elements present in the original work, please avoid depicting them in the anime as much as possible. Revise them into expression that anyone can view comfortably. And it was the production team who honored and upheld that vision. Additionally, the author has in the past created several works in the BL genre featuring couplings of the significant age gaps and between adults and minors, such as the teacher and students. However, in light of recent prevalence of horrific crimes committed by adults against minors, the author has decided not to use such themes in future works. We kindly ask for your understanding on this matter, and to anyone who has already read the original work and felt uncomfortable as a result, we sincerely apologize.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So what I gathered from this heavy word salad of a message is that she's not only telling us that she's asked to censor her own work, but gave an apology to all those who felt outraged because of recent events where there were actual adults preying on minors. She's essentially comparing fictional content to real life incidents, which is very strange. On top of that, she felt the need to specifically point out not to depict sexually exploited female students or female characters. The fuck? Like, I'm not joking when I'm saying I'm confused by the actual wording here. And I'm not the only one. Look at the comment section. Many people are confused why she brought this up to begin with. Why specifically don't sexualize female characters and female students? But aside from that, the fact that she came out and again apologized to the very people who harassed her, then she self-censored her own work again to appease them, and is now saying she'll never use themes that could be misinterpreted by her readers. But I'm sorry, hun, nah. Your actual fanbase didn't need you to come out and reconstruct or fix anything. They understood what you were writing perfectly. It's these crazy zealots online that were accusing her and all this other bullshit from the beginning who didn't understand, or chose to pretend not to so they can come after you and attack and act outraged for nothing. But with this post, she just slapped the face of all the supporters and fans who defended her. To add more insult to injury, she threw every author/artist who have created manga and stories similar to hers under the bus by the comparison of fictional work to real-life horrific events. It's kinda sad that things turned out this way. She had a large number of individuals and creators supporting her after all the controversy, only to then capitulate and bend the knee to the online nose-pierced, multicolored haired tourists who, despite getting what they wanted, are still flaming her at the end of the day. They're just sitting there in their safe little corners of the internet, rubbing their hairy hands together for the next manga or anime to show up so they can dig their unkempt fingernails into its skin.
Emotional damage!
If it sounds like I'm upset, it's because I kinda am. Look, I wish no hate towards the author, and regardless of current events, I still defend her from what happened. She didn't deserve the liberal abuse she was receiving from these troglodytes. And even though I think what she said and what she's done currently is retarded, that doesn't take away from the fact that what happened to her earlier in the month was just inappropriate. Still, it's a real damn shame. I wish her all the best, but Lord knows I know how this will end for her if she continues down this path. If you give someone an inch, they will take a fucking mile. Easily. These people do not give a fuck about what you have done. They don't care about how good of an artist you are, how good of a writer you are. They don't care about they don't even give a shit about what you're actually working on. All they care is that you bend the knee and give in to what they want, to their demands. But anyways, that's gonna be doing it for me in this video, guys. Sorry it took me so long to finish it. I got no real excuse, so I hope you can forgive me and enjoy the content of what I've been putting out and what I'll be putting out later on down the line. Got another video in the works, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate y'all for checking out the channel, and as always, no matter where you guys are on the world, no matter what time it is for you guys, I always want you guys to have a good morning, a great afternoon, a beautiful evening, and a blessed night. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.
Back.